What's going on, everyone? It's Brody back in to answer another tennis question, and today's tennis topic is going to be all about demo rackets. So if you've been watching the channel for a while, you know that before any time you go and buy a racket, I will always tell you to demo the racket that you want to buy. There's good reason for this. I will explain that here in the video. So stick with me. It's not going to take me that long, so let's get right into it. The main thing about demos is you are looking for something that you think you need out of your current racket that you're not getting. So your racket you may be using is a great all-around racket, it's a great spin racket, it's a great control racket, but you need help with something else. That's usually why you're looking for a demo, because you want to see what else is out there. That's completely fine, but you just have to make sure that you know not all the rackets are going to work as well as what you find. So if you like what this one's doing and you like what this one's doing, you probably won't find a combination of both. You have to take what you can get. Anyway, with the demo rackets, one of the main things you need to know is what you're actually looking for. There's, like I was saying, there were spin rackets, power rackets, control rackets, feel rackets. There's a whole slew of different ones, so you need to know what you're actually trying to solve for when you're thinking of switching. It can change depending on the player. No one player is exactly the same. So that's why taking out more demos over time and not just doing a one and done is usually the best way to go. Plus, sometimes the companies itself, they'll let you actually take off some money from the price of the racket if you demo with them for a lot. So little insider tip if you didn't know. Anyway, with the demo rackets, you're going to be tempted to say, oh my gosh, this is the best thing I've ever hit. I want this one right away after your first play session with it. No, don't do that. That is new racket bias. We don't do new racket bias. You want to be hitting with that frame at least for 2 to 3 sessions of at least an hour and a half to 2 hours each, because you really want to feel what it's like with that racket in every single scenario. You could be having a great day one day, you could be having a bad day another, and you need to see how the racket performs on both of those occasions. If the racket passes the test on both the good days, the bad days, and the in-between days, okay, you may have a viable contender for actually going to switch rackets. Now, if you are doing it to where that you're just looking for a new racket to try because you don't really care, you don't necessarily need a new racket, but you just want to try and see what's going out there, that's fine, but you don't really need a new racket. You just want to try something else. If anything, try a different string in the racket you already own. That's probably going to be a lot less time consuming and just way more fun, because you already like your racket you have, you just want something different. So try messing around with the string. That may work even better. Anyway, back to the demos. With the demos, one thing that you need to do is going to be actually taking out a notepad with you onto the tennis court. Doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be a large one. It can just be a notepad to where you can be like, okay, forehands, felt good, a little unstable. Backhands, a lot of spin, not as much power as I wanted. And just do quick notes like that on your changeovers or when you sit down to rest between play, because that way you get a just actual physical representation of what's going on that you can come back to see what you actually thought about the racket after you finish playing with it. So like come back to it a few hours later when you are not in the player's high of, oh my gosh, this is the best demo ever. Just come back to it, look at it objectively and be like, okay, this is what I was feeling while I was playing with it. I didn't necessarily like this. I liked this, and you go and just keep doing that until you figure out which one that you actually like. So that's an easy thing to do. A lot of people actually don't do it. So if you are one of the ones who will take out that notepad, you're ahead of the game. So anything else, you want to find someone that you can also get some feedback from. If you're playing against a wall or just a ball machine, that's fine. But if you can play against someone you've played with before, they know your play style, they know what you really want to do with the ball, then having them as your opponent can really help you figure out what you need to do and if this racket is really going to work or not for you. We are, of course, biased to our own games because we are the ones using them. It's always great to get an outsider's perspective on what's going on, especially with a new racket, because they will most likely be able to see some things that we don't. And if they are able to do that and they tell you and you were like, oh, I didn't realize, that could have just saved you probably over $200 because of the price of the brand new racket. So doesn't ever hurt to have a friend come out, help you, and just see what's going on. So with demos, there's not really much more to say. Take them out a couple times. Never settle for just the one and done. Sometimes in the rare instance that it does happen, it's great that it does. But usually there's really no downside to just continuing to demo until you really find one that you truly do like. Because, like I said earlier, most of the time the companies will take off some of the money that you use for the demos off of the price of the brand new one, so it doesn't hurt. Now, with that being said, if you like this video, leave a like on it. Comment down below any more questions you have about demos or what you should do, what you shouldn't do with them, and I'll get back to you as fast as I can. Subscribe to the channel so we can grow this channel and get the information from the people who have it to the people who need it, because there's a lot of tennis misinformation going around in the tennis community, and I took it upon myself to make this YouTube channel so that we can get rid of that and make sure that everyone knows what exactly is going on the correct way. So, with that being said, like the video, comment, subscribe, share this video with a friend if they just started out on demos or you two are going to be demoing rackets together. And as always, take care.